Hi, my friends and family. I'm talking to you. This is part 2 of a video called Slave Driver. Slave driver, table is turned. Catch a fire. It's time for the devil to get burned. 'Cause the karma the demons cannot discern. So, I've been talking about the tragedy of Israel, the tragedies of all warfare, the tragedies of planetary takeover attempts. And what happens when the people become aware? I was thinking about making this video called something like International Amistad or Planetary Amistad, and I was really inspired in a good way in the year 2020 and 2021 to 2022. During the lockdowns, I saw in London, England, in August 2020, 10,000 people, and 30,000 people, and David Icke speaking, 30,000 people, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. speaking in Germany. No, I'm not sure. I might have gotten the numbers mixed up, but it was very encouraging because it showed that people were not going to take it. We're not going to take it. And then I saw that after the shots started killing people in Italy started protesting with large pictures of their loved ones, and they even did a walk across the country, part of the country, to protest the mandates and lockdowns. And I saw people organizing in a beautiful protest. So now that we have seen that the Hamas has been set on fire in Israel, which the Hamas apparently is a region for the the ne'er-do-wells, or the ones that weren't going to be accepted into my friend who's part Ashkenazi and part Cherokee. He said it's like a country club on the Israel side and a horrible slum on the Palestine side of the wall there. And so we have 150 dual citizen Israeli U.S. congressmen. Now, is that not a conflict of interest, like the FDA taking bribes from big pharma and disgusting big food manufacturers saying that their horrible poisons were okay, and Bill Gates bribing them to force everyone to take the mandate? Is that not a conflict of interest for them for Joe Biden to use the authority of over 150, roughly 1/4 of our Congress being both citizens of both Israel and U.S., to send this aircraft carrier over to Israel to help out? Now, is that not a conflict of interest? Should this be allowed? Should it be allowed that 1/4 of our Congress is actually Israeli citizens, when you see what the country of Israel is really about? When you understand what the creation of the Fed is really about, when you understand what the creation of the country of Israel is really about, and even what the parts of the creation of the USA that were infiltrated is really about. Now, I'm not saying our forefathers were necessarily evil, but they were millionaires. They were, equivalent of Illuminati, or Freemasons, deists. However, is this a legitimate Congress if it has 1/4 of it citizens or dual Israeli citizens? We know about MJ-12. We also have about over 150 CIA employees who get to check out this video before you will ever see it, because they're working right in YouTube. They can scan this video to censor, block it, shadow ban it, or try to, if they don't delete it, make it really hard to find. So, all I have to say about all this is just say no to race wars. Realize it's fake. Realize it's propaganda. Realize it only exists in the anti-life dogma of the secret societies that were set up by evil aliens who want us all to be their slaves, not just blacks, all of us. Okay? All war is of the Antichrist. It is not of the respectful God. There is no respectful creator who would make us fight each other and kill each other and demand blood sacrifice. I call Yahweh the junior God, okay? Because yes, they are master geneticists. Yes, the Yahweh Collective has been masters at creating, look at, they've already made humans 2.0 along with all the other dark ET species, okay? Yeshua supposedly turned the tables. The Master Jesus supposedly turned the tables on the money changers when they tried to bring money in the temples, right? Well, Dave Chappelle actually... Okay, I've said this before, all comedians, especially if they're African American or have melanin skin or black people, so to speak, if they become popular, they're offered a great $1 million movie contract. In the contract it says they must put on a tutu or some other women's, dress and drag. So Dave Chappelle, he did the same thing that Jesus supposedly did. He turned the tables, millions of dollars, and he didn't start back into stand up for maybe 5 or 10 years later. He moved back and raised his daughter with his family where he's from in Minnesota. He had done a great job of subversive comedy on Comedy Central, exposing the bullshit of the world, but he wasn't willing to put on a tutu. He wasn't willing to do what J.P. Sears did voluntarily to stay in the YouTube ideation of this mainstream media, to dress and drag, even to make fun of it. So it's a fascinating thing when you think about the fact that, Dave Chappelle is now able to make a living doing comedy tours and spreading light and awareness. And so that's what these two videos I made today are really about, okay? How are we turning the tables on these slave drivers with the courage to speak the truth to all, with the awareness and courage? Look what happened to Russell Brand in the last month. They said he had raped this girl when he was a junkie, alcoholic 25 years ago, and it didn't lead to anything, and he didn't stop, and they didn't get him. They might have demonetized him on YouTube, but they couldn't do anything else. You know why? Because the truth will prevail, and the age of slavery is finally going down the drains, even though we're going to have to watch half the planet, have to go through this experiment where the Dark Lord's minions try to, see how well it's going to work out to have these injections of self-replicating nanotech and graphene dioxide, growing colonies of tiny nanotech, evil alien tech, and metal growing in their bodies so that they can be easily programmed. We'll see how that works out. But again, my take on all of this is kiss Lucifer, kiss Yahweh, kiss Satan goodbye, unless they want to somehow miraculously get out of being a narcissistic predator killers and learn some respect. I can admit, like my narcissistically possessed former close associate, that yes, the Zionists have massive talent for creation, but when it's always service to self, when it's always about the greed and the profit, and they don't care who they kill and they don't care who they step on, it's not of place with the future. It will get wiped out. Because the original human race on this planet is a divine living library, and this USA is the words of the Constitution, the preamble, and were gleaned from the mouths of Iroquois chiefs. This is an experiment in freedom. Okay? So Tucker Carlson is doing fine on X. The point I'm saying here, folks, is the truth will prevail. The slave masters are going down. The tables are turned. However, we're going to have to keep on this. We're going to have to keep bringing awareness. Each and every one of you with the courage is going to have to tell more people, as many people as you possibly can, because it's in the aggregate. This is why I'm shadow banned. This is why I'm not celebrated already as a teacher, amongst, say, 300 people, because that wouldn't be cool. Even 300 people is, which is what I would have on YouTube right now if they hadn't fuck with it. That wouldn't be okay. Because the Dark Lord doesn't want this type of information out there, okay? So spread the truth in a respectful, peaceful way. The days of slavery are numbered, okay? But the only way out is through awareness. You must free yourself. I can't do it for you, and you can't free me, and the government and my mother and no one else who tries to be my mommy can free me. Only I can bring the awareness. Only I can do the shadow work on myself, okay? The Most High is made of pure awareness. She never charges anyone a dime of rent. She gives us all free will if we have the courage to bring it back. She gives us all the divine gift of life if we have the courage to take it back from the 3D slave master matrix programmers, ancient deceivers called the Jehovah Collectives, and the new Draco deceivers. You must understand the power to awaken all of your chakras up to the 15th dimension is your responsibility. The awakening into the great sacred oneness of the real divine living libraries, multidimensional, ascended age of golden light is on the responsibility of each and every individual. It will not happen collectively. It will be steered into darkness by the devil collectively, but together we will prevail if and when 51% of our soul in our day, in our spirit is walking in the light of the truth. And, that we spend our moments in the awareness of her sacred majesty, and we choose not to harm ourselves or anyone else. We choose to remain aware, and then the queendom is coming. The days of slavery are over, but only when we figure out how to let go of the contracts, only when each and every one of us do the shadow work for ourselves to change the details, to take the devil out of the details. Move into a tiny home or whatever those individual steps are to attain more personal freedom and awareness. I love you, my human family, and all the people who watch this, and I bring you nothing but more awareness that freedom is your birthright, but you have to take the responsibility to bring that back. Loving you, folks.